Hey guys! So today you and I are going to talk about quitting your job. So let's get into it. Now I'm not going to push you into quitting your job, but I'm going to answer a subscriber question. And the question was, Frederick, what usually causes somebody who want to quit their job as a software developer, because it's such a cozy, nice little job, right? And I think this is a good question. Usually the reason why people quit their jobs there's a few things, of course, and let's get the first one out of the way. The first and foremost one would be that you get a better offer somewhere else. But I will also say that just getting a better offer, like having companies of more repute or more money being offered to you and so forth, these do matter to some people that are truly, truly, truly in it for the money. That's the thing that matters the most. I have a few friends like that. I like to jokingly call them money horse or IT horse, because all you have to do is flash enough cash their way and they're just going to jump ship immediately. That's their deal. Anywho, that's definitely the first and foremost thing. And I will also argue that unless you are truly only in it for the money and you jump ship for money, it requires a little bit more than that. I know plenty of people, myself included, who have gotten like job offers and like requests to go to much more prestigious companies than the one that I'm working for, like the international high-end companies. And these, it's very flattering, and it's great and so forth, but that's not just, it's not the only thing that matters. I will say that for most people, when it comes to, at least what I can see, when it comes to moving companies or switching jobs, it usually comes down to that you're unhappy in some fashion with your current position in life. And that doesn't just have to do with money. It doesn't just have to do with geolocation, that you want to move to another country or something like that. It usually has to do with, I would say, a sensation of purpose, a sensation of empowerment, if you will, within your own company. So one of the things that I find to be truly interesting is that most people will consider, regardless of what they do for a living, they will consider their job to be fulfilling and their life purpose, if you will, as long as they feel a concrete sense of improvement into, like, that they're in a flow, if you will. They are actually improving at their craft, and they actually feel that what they do is something that matters. They have this sense of purpose, right? And the second thing is that they have a real tangible influence, a sensation of influence on the decisions that are made within their role. Now, it used to be the case that quite a lot of people, and it still is, let's be honest here, there are quite a lot of roles within industry, regardless of what you work with, where you don't have this, where you literally you're there to fulfill a role. You're basically a body. You're as disposable as tissue paper, and you're just there to do what you're told, right? These are not the sorts of occupations or these sorts of roles where this is happening. This is where you have a much lower level of employee loyalty, if you will. Some companies that used to have these roles are actually getting better at it. There are absolutely attempts within different industries to just keep people around, because the old way of working, where people at the higher management levels just looked at everybody below them as these disposable people that you just plug and play and you kind of just switch them out. Sometimes this still happens, of course. It's just not true, because even if you have someone working at McDonald's, it takes a few months to train them at the very least, to train them to the same experience level as somebody who's been doing it for quite some time. This is true for everything, but it was kind of missed in translation a few years back. So as long as you have these things, it usually ends well. For programmers, this is definitely the case. The most common reason that I see people being frustrated in the workplace and that they are just generally unhappy is when they feel like they have no say. They feel like their voices are not heard. They feel like it's, the system is really shitty. There's a lot of legacy code. But whenever they ask for improvements or they ask for some capacity to do something nice and so forth, to get them that emotional satisfaction, to feel that they're actually doing a good job, it's always shut down by some management or something like that. And you can, as a manager, just think about it yourself. You're basically asking a craftsman to do in their opinion, to do a shitty job over and over and over because of your own either own priorities or that you don't understand how software development works. And there's only so many times you can ask someone to do that. It's similar to asking someone in the military to do something that they feel is immoral. They might go along with it because they want to be a part of the team and like support fight for their country. But at some point, it takes a toll. It takes a toll on everybody. And in the programming world, nothing takes a toll as quickly as feeling as you're not being heard and feeling as if you're working in a really shitty system. Because if you have a very rough and ad hoc work process where you have a lot of problems with regression testing and legacy and bugs, and you have a lot of insecurities in your own workflow, these things take a cognitive toll on programmers. It affects their mood. They do get more pessimistic. They feel like they're not motivated, and the absolute creme de la creme problem that a company can get is that you make your programmers apathetic. And if you get to that point, it is over for your company in terms of getting new people, like decent people, and getting creative people and innovative people to actually contribute. If you want people to invest in your company and actually be engaged in the success of that company, if that's something you care about, if you get to a level, if you put them in a situation where they're just actually apathetic to the project itself, I can guarantee you will be surprised at how quickly things such as time to market and product quality and so forth, it goes down, like all of it across the board. Because when you get to that point, nobody gives a shit anymore. They're just basically being, and this is the thing that I just don't get sometimes, because that is the most dangerous fucking thing you can expose yourself to in software development. Because you see, the thing is, when you're a manager at, say, a local shop or supermarket, the work process of every single individual at that company is going to be digestible to you. You are going to comprehend what it is that they do, what the value that each person is producing, and how they do their job, which makes it fairly easy for you to understand if you have an issue with this employee and how to fix it and how to manage that sort of situation. It's comprehensible to you because you understand the role that they are filling. This is not so in programming for most managers, because most of you have no fucking clue what we're doing. You are literally you are literally only able to take us at our word when we say that we're doing a good job or that things are moving well or so forth. You may have a gut feeling at, this is taking long, why is it taking long? But it's like a magic box to you. Let's not kid ourselves here. I know quite a few of the no-stack developers who know a little bit of code or something like that, but you still don't have that in-depth knowledge. So when you're working with technical experts, why would you even want to put them in a situation where they don't care anymore? Because you will literally not know until you start measuring over time your velocity as a team or as a company. So it's, I would say, even more important in that sort of field where you deal with technical experts or some type of expert, where you don't yourself as the manager have the knowledge to do the same thing, to make sure that there's a mutual trust and that the engagement and personal investment of every person working in your engineering department is as high as possible, because that's the way that you guarantee that everybody is actually doing their job, performing well, and that the company is going at the speed, like the highest speed that is appropriate for that company. That trust, that's the thing that Google and Facebook and all these other big IT companies are trying to get, are pushing for, because they know that this is exactly it. If you have people that you trust within a technical department, you don't have to have some type of weird process where every single person needs to time report, or every single person needs to prove that they're actually doing their job and so forth. Because that is such a weird management way of thinking. You're thinking of solving the problem from the outside, but the problem is that when you're on the outside looking in, you're still looking at something you don't really understand. So unless you're going to have an internal affairs department going around and code reviewing people, I don't see that working. So what I want you to take away from this is that the most common reason why people quit their jobs in software development is, number one, they get a better offer or something like that, more money or something of that nature. But in second place, I think that this always contributes in some fashion to the first case, is that they feel a lack of empowerment. They feel like they're not being heard. They feel like they're working in a shitty code base and management doesn't care, or we are always forced to hack things together. They don't feel pleased with the work that they produce at that company. And that creates frustration, and the end state for a programmer when this happens is that they become apathetic. They emotionally leave the project. They will go there because they need a salary and they will work on the project, but they don't give a fuck about the success of the project. They will literally only do the thing that you tell them to do, and they will hack things together, and your product will suffer. So make sure that you're aware of these sorts of things, because they have a bigger impact than you can possibly imagine. Have a great day.